The autumn air was crisp, the kind that carries the smell of roasted coffee and fallen leaves. On the edge of a busy street, a little girl stood with a handwritten cardboard sign. Her bike leaned against her tiny frame, its red paint chipped from years of love. The sign read in shaky letters, "Buy my bike. Mommy needs money for food." She was only 7, with bright eyes that didn't quite match the heaviness in her heart. Every car that passed seemed to ignore her, but she didn't move. She was determined. Her mother, Clara, sat a few feet away on the curb, head in her hands. Just a week ago, she had lost her job at a large company. She had been a loyal employee for years, but the CEO, Mr. Harris, had decided to cut costs. She was just a single mom to him, a number on a payroll sheet. Rent was due. The fridge was nearly empty. And her daughter, Lily, had overheard her crying late at night. That morning, Lily had quietly wheeled her beloved bike outside. "Mommy, maybe if I sell this, we can buy groceries," she had whispered. Clara's heart had broken into 1,000 pieces. Fate, however, has a strange sense of timing. The sleek black car that slowed down near the corner was one Clara recognized instantly. Out stepped Mr. Harris, the very CEO who had fired her. At first, he didn't notice them. He was just heading to the cafe across the street. But then his eyes caught the little girl holding up her shaky cardboard sign. He stopped. He walked closer. "Why are you selling your bike, sweetheart?" Lily's voice trembled, but she looked him straight in the eye. "Because Mommy needs money for food. She lost her job." Clara's cheeks burned with shame. She stood up quickly. "Lily, that's enough." But Mr. Harris was already staring at her, recognition dawning. The weight of her file, the one he had signed without a second thought, seemed to crash back onto his shoulders. For the first time in years, he felt something stir inside him. Guilt, humanity. I'm sorry," he stammered. "Clara, I didn't know it was this bad." Clara clenched her fists. "You never care to know. People aren't just numbers on paper. Some of us are fighting every day just to keep our children fed." Her words cut deep, sharper than any boardroom argument he had ever faced. For once, Mr. Harris couldn't hide behind polished suits and profit margins. Standing before him was a mother's raw truth and a little girl's innocence. Unexpectedly, Lily stepped forward. She lifted her bike and held it out to him. "You can buy it," she said softly. "But please, give Mommy a job again." Mr. Harris froze. Something inside him broke open. A child shouldn't have to negotiate like this. A child shouldn't have to sacrifice joy for survival. He knelt down, his voice heavy. "No, sweetheart. Keep your bike. That's yours. I'll make this right." The very next day, Clara received a call. Not only was she reinstated at the company, but Mr. Harris had also created a new program, one designed to protect single parents from layoffs. He admitted publicly that he had made a mistake, and it all started because a little girl refused to give up on her mother. Months later, Clara watched from the kitchen window as Lily pedaled her red bike through the neighborhood, her laughter filling the air. They had food in the fridge, rent was paid, and for the first time in a long time, hope felt real again. Clara hugged her daughter tight that evening. "You saved me, Lily. You reminded someone powerful that people matter more than money." And somewhere across town, even Mr. Harris had changed. The lesson of one little girl's bike had reshaped his entire outlook on business and life. The night after Clara got her job back, she lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Relief had washed over her, but so had something deeper. Gratitude mixed with disbelief. Life had turned on a dime, all because her daughter had stood bravely with that sign. She glanced at Lily, sleeping peacefully in the next room, clutching her stuffed bear. A soft smile touched Clara's face. The little girl had no idea how powerful her simple act of love had been. Mr. Harris, too, found himself unable to sleep. His mind replayed Lily's trembling voice, "Buy my bike. Mommy needs money for food." It echoed louder than any boardroom argument, louder than the applause he used to crave from shareholders. He had built his career on profit margins, but he had never realized the cost until that moment on the street. Days turned into weeks, and Clara noticed small but meaningful changes at work. The company began offering flexible hours, food support for struggling employees, and scholarships for their children. It was as though one child's courage had cracked open a window in a building that had been sealed for too long. One evening, as Clara picked Lily up from school, Lily pointed at the horizon. "Mummy, look, it's so bright today. Do you think it's because we're happier?" Clara laughed, her throat tight with tears. "Maybe it is, sweetheart. Maybe happiness makes the world brighter." And in that simple truth, Clara realized something important. The world doesn't change when powerful people make grand speeches. It changes when ordinary people, sometimes even little children, dare to show kindness, honesty, and love. For Clara and Lily, life was still far from perfect, but they had food on the table, laughter in their home, and hope for tomorrow. And for Mr. Harris, the memory of a little girl with a cardboard sign and a chipped red bike stayed with him forever, reminding him every day to lead with heart instead of numbers, because sometimes the smallest voices carry the greatest power.